What's up, everybody? Back again with another episode of the Common Grounds Podcast, episode 5. I'm lucky today to have not one, not two, but 3 guests. Let's introduce ourselves from a variety of countries. All my good friends here at Wake who I've come to know. First, let's start off, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes, sir. Hi, my name is Anthony. I'm from Tegucigalpa, Honduras. I'm a junior here at Wake. I'm studying business and enterprise management with a concentration in new business development and a minor in computer science.
Thank you. Next, we have the beautiful
Sofia.
So I'm Sofia Campos. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I'm also a junior here. I'm a double major in education and psychology with a minor in entrepreneurship.
And lastly, but certainly not least, we have...
I'm Rachel Lampann. I'm also from Honduras. I'm a senior here at Wake, majoring in engineering with the concentration in civil and environmental engineering and the minor in math.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for coming. So today, kind of as I was talking about before the show, the topic is on citizenship and just kind of what that means for you guys and kind of how it pertains to you. But first, let's talk about kind of your educational background, because education is something that's really, really big in terms of being a citizen. So what was school like for each of you growing up, and what was it like growing up? Was it English school, a Spanish school, mix of both? Was there a third language thrown in there? So whoever wants to kind of take that, what was that like?
I can go first. So I think, I guess like comparing myself to Rachel's background, we went to different high schools. She went to an American high school, or like a high school that had like an American focused education type of thing. Mine wasn't. So I guess comparing it to Wake and how prepared I was for Wake, it was certainly, I guess, more difficult in terms of STEM. But then like in terms of the language barrier, I think I was able to manage it very good because of my background, my parents, like constantly traveling to the States and just practicing English a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say like the biggest challenge for me was just like more of the STEM classes and like the amount of workload as well.
Yeah. Engineering for you, Rachel. I know math's a universal language, but I bet some of those terms can be really weird. What was that like?
Yeah, we didn't have engineering. Like right now, my school back home started implementing more STEM programs. So they are already implementing engineering, but when I was studying in my high school, they didn't have it. And like physics, for example, we didn't take it for like a year long. It was mainly like a semester.
Wow.
And only like certain grades, so I wasn't that exposed to it, but I was interested in all those topics.
Wow. Wow. How was it in Santo Domingo?
I think that my background is very similar to Anthony's. I also went to an all-Spanish school, and I basically learned English from coming into the United States and going to summer camps here and things like that. But yeah, the STEM was different, and I think that terminology for everything, like just learning a new language and coming here, trying to learn history, for example, was one thing that I remember I struggled with, because there's a lot of things I remember one class that we were talking about D-Day. I never learned about D-Day in my high school. So the professor was like, oh, you all know about D-Day, so I'm not going to go through with what this is. And I'm like, I have no idea what D-Day is.
Yeah.
So it's just small things like that sometimes I feel that it sets me apart from a lot of Wake students too, just because of that. The way my high school was is different.
Exactly. Things like that, history and geography, those are really, really crazy things. For instance, I remember I had a friend from Colombia who had gone here to Wake Forest, and she graduated, and I was like, what do you mean? You don't know all the 50 states or like the capitals? And then she looked at me, she's like, do you know all the departments in Colombia? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, there's a lot more information to learn.
Yeah.
I don't know how Honduras and the DR are divided, even though I've been to the DR, but departments
18 departments.
Yeah. Couldn't name any of them. So I think that's one of the things it's like
Rachel
to expect.
Either.
But yeah, no, that's really, really important. And what would you say maybe the typical education is, and like how many kids your age would learn English? Is it kind of like in the United States, we have really bad second language learning programs in the public school? Is it the opposite?
Yeah.
What's the opposite like for English?
I mean, yes and no. Like I would say, like, well, first of all, like I would say, like the public schools are not good at all. it is the people who have very low resources, the ones that will end up going to public schools. It's more, and I guess we were both fortunate to go to like a private school and stuff. And then as for the English, I would say it's probably better.
Yeah.
Like the second language there is probably better than here, just because there's so much emphasis in the States, and like they know like the huge, how big the States is and stuff. So I would say they put a pretty big emphasis on English and stuff. Like at least more than half of my classes were in English in high school.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And also, like, for example, my high school would bring a lot of teachers from the U.S. Just to give classes, and like I only had like 2 classes in Spanish when I was taking 8 classes.
Wow.
For me, it was very different. It's similar that only public schools will be people with low resources, and then private schools will be the rest. But I only had 1 class in English, and it was English. It was for us to learn English. And it was terrible, because it was people that were just learning English that were teaching us English.
Yeah.
So that was awful. Unless you went to an American school, you would learn English. But for me, I had to take afternoon classes, and like I had to, come here to the United States so I could learn English.
Wow.
It was terrible in my school.
Wow.
I would say though, even though like they try to put a lot of emphasis in that, like at least for both of us, like we would have like, I don't know, like as Rachel was saying, like 80% say of your classes were in English. There were still a lot of classmates that would not have like a good level of English.
Yeah, I feel that it all depends also on like how you grow up in your house. Like for example, my dad's from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, that's where my mom's from. No way.
So like it's mainly English at home, and then my grandmother's from Poland, so it's not like she speaks Spanish that
and
well.
on top of that, like you travel a lot to the States.
I travel a lot, so it's like also your family background and how much English you speak at home and stuff like that. Because I did have a few classmates that like, despite having so many classes in English, like they still had a hard time. With the second language.
Yeah. Now I have a question more for the ladies. What was it like kind of being a lady and leaving the family? Because I know that could have its own obstacles. Were there any obstacles with that, kind of coming to a new country? That must be different. What do you think, or do you not think that at all?
Not really. I mean, I think my parents miss us more than... I have a twin sister. And I think that they miss us more than they did with my brother. But it's just because we're like also the only girls in my entire family. Like things like that, I feel that it's different. But for me, I was like, okay, I want to go to the States. Like, it's time for me to be independent. And
the only reason I'm going to preface that, I know that sounded kind of bad, but why I say that is because in thinking of, wow, who do I know from other countries, like, and I know a lot of people awake because I've been here for 4 years, it always seems like there are a lot more guys from international countries that we have here awake than girls. So I'm just saying that based on, like, maybe there's a trend there. I don't know if it's the guys are more willing, like, the parents are more willing to let the guys to go, and I was wondering if that was a discussion at all, leaving home. What was it, maybe? But probably not. Both of your parents went to South Carolina, you said, right?
Yeah. But for me, I don't know, I don't think it's like that. I'm thinking about my friends, and a lot of my friends, they would just get homesick. So that's why they would rather not leave the Dominican Republic, or they came to the U.S., they did 1 semester, and they were like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That was the only thing, but...
Well, you seem to both be all 3 of you having fantastic careers here. Hopefully you all look happy and healthy and having fun. I always see you with a ton of people, too, so whether it be out or around school, so it seems like it's a success. Would you say? What do you guys think? Success? No success? Any regrets?
Yeah. No, not
No regrets.
No regrets? So what's the future look like? What do you think? Do you guys want to go home? A little bit of both? I know you're an American citizen, you said, right?
So I was going to say, too, like, I guess...
And you must be, because you're dad.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to
I
go.
guess, just, like... So I guess it was more focused on the ladies, but also, like, I have seen, like, especially in Honduras, like, if you, like, say, like, if your family has the opportunity of sending you like, to study away, meaning to the States or Europe or whatever, I feel like regardless of your gender, like, you'll just take that opportunity.
Yeah, they'll try to send you.
Yeah. So that one thing, and then the other one would be, like, I guess also the 3 of us, like, we're somewhat of an exception to the other Latinos, I guess, or like other international students studying here, whether it's at Wake or in the States, because we're all Americans. So that definitely makes I guess our process to get into the school.
Oh, you're,
and, like,
you're American? I didn't know.
it makes it way easier, because you have, for one side you have the American side, so there's like a lot of benefits with that, and then the universities like it as well because you bring that diversity as well. So you're like an American international type.
Dual
Yeah.
citizen, that's awesome. It's hard to get another passport. I don't think I can ever get one. I think it costs a lot of money if I wanted to invest in somewhere. It's like to get, it's crazy.
Or just get a wife. You know?
Yeah, no.
But-
That's hard.
I guess for the future question, I would say, I don't know. Personally, I would think,
The 305?
yeah.
Is it
I
305
mean,
in your future?
I don't think there's anything set in stone. I would say, like, right now, if you ask me, I would definitely like to graduate. Probably stay a couple of years in America just to see how corporate America is, live that life, and then eventually probably just go home and try and help in whatever way you can. I would say that.
Yeah, what about y'all?
I am unsure of what I'm gonna do, but I kind of want to move to Europe and see how that's like. But I don't know. I know that I do not want to go back to the Dominican Republic. I keep saying that, but my mind might change. Honestly, my entire family's there, so that can change. But I'm not sure of what I want to do. I mean, I want to go year by year. I mean, after Wake, I'm probably going to stay here for a couple of years, then go to grad school probably here, and then after that I'll see where life takes me.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll probably go back home and work for like the different family businesses.
Oh, nice.
Work there for like a year or two, and then get my master's, and then go back.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Well, what would be like the weirdest thing? Like probably the last thing we could wrap up on. Maybe like the biggest culture shock that you guys found to be a little weird about coming to Wake. Just given like your background, kind of your global mindset, that I think is a really, really big asset. I think it's really important to have. You guys all clearly have it. So what might be a thing coming to a place like Wake where you might come in, you might encounter more small-minded people, if it makes sense? What do you think, like a culture shock like that would be?
I think for me it was, like the culture itself, it wasn't that big of a shock just because like I had traveled so much to the States, like spent summer here, go to summer camps and stuff. So I sort of knew what was coming in that sense. Maybe the biggest shock or like what caught me, I don't know, by surprise the most was the social scene a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely different.
Like living at college and Greek life and then
Greek
sports
life
at
and
school,
stuff
like that.
and I guess like it seems like you start, like in our countries, you start going to parties and stuff way younger, and so that phase where you have to go to like parties and get destroyed 3 days in a weekend.
Yeah.
We had that a couple years ago. So when we get to college, like you're expecting something, I don't know, like a nicer party, maybe.
You're a grown man.
But yeah. Well, I guess. So I guess that was the biggest shock, I would say.
I would agree. I think we were all used to go clubbing and to go to nicer bars. Then coming here, all being Greek life, being stuck in a frat basement, it was just, I don't know, it was very different. It was something that I would say you kind of learn to get used to it, and you kind of just adjust to it, but it's really not the same.
Yeah, I agree with both of them, actually. Like, I was thinking of what else could it be, and it's like, since I have been always coming to the U.S., like, since I was literally born here, and then with my parents being from here, basically, like, culture in general, it wasn't much differently. But then, like, partying here and stuff like that, it definitely was, because over there we're used to going out, like, to nicer bars, or, like, just nicer, like,
Environments.
Nicer environments.
A little classier.
Yeah.
Like people will dress up to go out and stuff.
Yeah, while here, like, I'm not that much of going to, like, frats, like, getting all sweaty and everything. Like, it's just not my type of environment.
I guess that was the, like, for the three of us, that was the one thing from the American culture we hadn't experienced before until we came here. It's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
What do you say? What would be like a big value that you guys have, like maybe just in your country or community or family, things like that you guys don't see as much here? Like, it seems like America, in my opinion, we're losing kind of a sense of respect in society, or like honoring your word. Things used to be done like in my parents and grandparents' generation with like a handshake and a deal was a deal, but it seems like we're losing that a little bit and losing our way. But every time I go to a Latin American country, people seem a little more forthright and they seem a little bit more respectful. Would you say that's fair to say, or how is that? What do you think about that?
I would agree with that 100%. It's also because I believe this Latin American countries tend to be more conservative, and so they haven't adopted all this new constant changing mindsets yet. I would agree with that 100%.
Me too. I also feel that people in Latin America are proud to be from where they are. Like, I'm very proud to be Dominican. I know they're very proud to be from Honduras. And it's something that I don't see here in the United States. People are not proud to be from the United States. And that's something that just, it's crazy. Like, you were raised here, like, your family's here. Like, there's just a lot of things that I'm like, I don't know, they don't love their country as much as people in Latin America do.
And I would say maybe that I would tie that up to like, I guess, just talking from our experience, like us seeing how the other, like, how could it be, and so like seeing so much poverty, how the reality of other people in our countries, it really does open your eyes and makes you think like, wow, I'm so grateful for what I have, and you appreciate everything way more. Whereas here in the States, especially, I guess, with the type of people that comes to Wake, you've always had everything. And I guess we've always had everything too, but we have seen what it could be if we don't. So like, if you've never had that exposure to see like how the other half lives, or like how like what actually poverty is, like you'll be like your own bubble and like small minded and stuff. So I don't know, I guess that has to do with that as well.
Well, yeah. Would you like the last word? Or if not, I thank you all for coming, and I respect all of you. I value everything you've said, and more importantly, I'm thankful to have you all as friends. So I really appreciate your time, what you've said, and we'll call it on that. So I think we found common ground. Thank you.